Hello guys, how you doing? So today it's more like a Bible study. So, and I'm just going to be sharing a Bible verse that the Lord gave to me when I was going through some difficulty in my life, and it was just the Bible verse that I always hold on to. So, and I just want to share it with you that if you are going through something right now, it doesn't matter what it is, the Lord got you and is just right there with you. So the Bible verse is Matthew chapter 14, and it talks about the story of Jesus when he walked on water and he told Peter to come. So this is what the Lord told me when I read the story, and I'm going to be starting from verse 23. After he had dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. Now Jesus knew what was going to happen at the sea, but he wanted to teach the disciples faith. He wanted to teach them something that they need to learn. Okay, so that is why Jesus left them alone while he went to pray. And 24 says, but the boat by this time was a long way from the land, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. And in the fourth watch of the night, he came to them walking on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It is a ghost." And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid." And Peter answered and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and walked on water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." So the first thing God told me was when Jesus was walking on the water, the storm did not stop. The disciples were on the water and the storm was still against them. And now Peter stepped out of the boat to meet Jesus, and then he saw the wind, meaning that he was on the boat. He didn't actually see the, the magnitude of the storm. He didn't see how heavy the storm was. He was in his comfort zone because he felt that in the boat he was still safe. So God told him to step out, and then he stepped out of his comfort zone to meet Jesus. And that was when he saw the real storm. It was the same storm that was beating against them when he was in the boat. So what happened? There was no record that the storm became bigger or something. It was the same thing that was happening while he was on the boat. But now he left his comfort zone. Now he's going towards Jesus. And as he was walking, he was looking onto Jesus. He was looking at Jesus. But when he saw the wind, that means as he was walking towards Jesus, he got to a point that he lost the sense of his environment. But now he became aware of his environment. He became aware that now he is out of his comfort zone. He is out of his safe place. Now he's seeing the problem. And then he began to sink. It was not the storm that made him to sink. It was his doubt that made him to sink. And then he said, "Lord, save me." So whatever you're going through, it is not enough to swallow you. It doesn't matter how big the problem is. It doesn't matter what the doctors have told you. Doctors do not have your life in their hands. It is God that have your life in his hands. So it doesn't matter what doctors have told you. It doesn't matter what the medical result says. It is not enough to swallow you. It is not enough to kill you. You start to sink when you lose focus of Jesus. You start to sink when you become aware of your problem. I'm not saying that you should forget your problem. It's not possible. But I'm saying that do not live in the moment of the problem. Do not live in the time of the problem. Because Jesus is who you are supposed to look onto. Because it is by him that you can be saved. Okay, so your problem is not as big as you think. It is not bigger than God. The storm is not bigger than God. It doesn't matter whatever your situation is. It is not bigger than God and it cannot swallow you. So let's continue reading. And then Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying unto him, O you of little faith, why did you doubt? And when they got into the boat, the wind stopped. And those in the boat worshipped him, saying, Truly, you are the Son of God. So now it got interesting. The storm did not stop when Jesus was walking on the sea. The storm did not stop when Peter was going towards Jesus. The storm did not stop when Jesus held Peter by the hand, walking him to the boat. But the storm stopped the moment Jesus stepped in. And Jesus told me that your storm that you are seeing is not to swallow you, it is to build you up onto a perfect person. The storm that I'm allowing you to see is not the end of it. It doesn't mean that I am not there with you. It means that I want you to be a stronger person who is not going to be a baby crying at every storm. And I got rest in this verse. And I know that I knew at that time that whatever I'm going through, it is not enough to end me. It is not my future. It is not what God has for me. But when God steps in, every storm ceases. Everything the doctor says, everything you're going through, everything stop. But at that time, you need to realize that the storm is not your focus. And then when another storm comes, you have the confidence in God that this also will pass, that this storm cannot swallow me. So I hope that you get encouraged this morning that always have faith in God, that everything that you're going through is not what he has written about you. So when the devil comes with storm to attack you, do not look at the size of the storm. Look at the size of Jesus. Look at the power of Jesus. And in that, you can find rest and comfort and peace. That until the time he steps in, everything obeys. Every storm says. And the people around you will know that of a truth, God has helped you. Of a truth, God is behind you. I pray that you find comfort today, and I pray that the Lord God will help you to fight the storm. Thank you very much.